Hi everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. We've listened to Angel's testimony. Nothing is really standing out too much, so I'm going to go through it again and see if there's anything else that I can find. So here we go. Somehow, I always knew a day like this would come. How did you know? I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime, yet their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy. The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted, given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim. Killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. ... Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator, and if I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one. Laid off. She was fired. To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I am a pro. As you know, my testimony is unbiased and flawless. Very well. You may continue. Yeah, so that I think is going to factor in some way here. What evidence do we have? We've got Goodman's ID card. We've got the murder weapon, which is the knife. Death due to loss of blood, 1 knife wound. So that will make sense. Oh, yeah, apparently this Goodman's note. I've been told that I got the date wrong on this because it's actually American format for the date. So instead of it being, I think I said the 12th of February, it's actually the 2nd of December. So I think that was Glaive, who I hope I say that right, who put that comment on. So thank you for that, because I would have got that wrong, and I guess that might factor in at some point, the date on there, so it's good to know that it's actually the 2nd of December. I'll have to remember that. So we've got the cell phone, we've got the parking lot floor plans, we got this photo, didn't we, that shows the moment of the crime as photographed by Angel Starr. Okay, so Angel took this photo, and you can see there it's like the moment of the crime. So there's something on the coat, which I think I said last time looked like blood or something like that. And she's doing something in the boot of the car, but we can't see the moment of the crime as photographed by Angel Starr. The only thing that stands out to me about this is that there's no knife in that picture. So it says it's the moment of the crime, but where's the knife to stab the victim? So did she say anything? I sense something, perhaps it's my finding home detective's intuition. I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car, okay, through the wire fence. So was the picture through a wire fence? It does look like it, yeah, because you've got sort of like the crosshatch design on there. So that's what she's talking about. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Oh, no, hang on. Right. So she saw this through the wire fence, and she then took a photo here, the moment of the crime, photographed by Angel. So she's saying that she saw her with the knife, but in the photo, she's not holding a knife. So I wonder actually if we need to present this. Objection! And you witnessed this. You saw Miss Sky stab the victim with the knife. As I've already said, yes. I swear it on my finest salmon swirl lunch. I'm sure that is a fine lunch. But isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. This is the photograph you took of the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Sky not holding a knife? ... Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Objection. That had to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeworth. Yet it was still stronger than your ever feeble mind, Mr. Wright. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing. That's what I thought, which is why there's that. The thing is, it's not a colour photograph, so you can't say for sure that that's blood on the coat. Could be oil, it could just be dirt, it could be food, it could be from like someone's lunch. Maybe the lunch that Goodman was eating got spilled all over his coat, who knows. But it's definitely not necessarily conclusive that that's after, I don't think. There's no timestamp on anything, as far as I'm aware. This was the moment after the stabbing. And how can you tell that? Blood spatter. Huh? See the dark crimson stains of the chief prosecutor's coat? But it's a black and white photograph. Ah, yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood. Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem, except you. Mr. Wright, are you going to just sit there and take that kind of abuse? You got a better idea? I mean, we've got to object, surely. Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime. Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies. ... That's it. If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Good advice. I'm not sure I understood it, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Skye was cold, calculating, like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was premeditated murder. Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in that photograph. Well, are those gloves? Well, I mean, if they were gloves, that would suggest that she was planning to stab somebody and didn't want fingerprints, right? Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. Those gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation. Premeditated murder, a serious offence. Witness, add this to your testimony. Oh. The murder was planned, the rubber gloves prove it. Okay, well, let's press that. What if she was just in the habit of wearing gloves, like driving gloves? The gloves were admitted as evidence when the defendant was arrested. They were rubber gloves, of the kind used for autopsies. Okay. In other words, when the chief prosecutor came to the crime scene, she came to do murder. It's the only possible conclusion one can make. Everything was planned. It was a premeditated crime. Impressive. I'm sorry they took you off the force, Miss Starr. This is bad. She's got them thinking this was all planned. If she can prove this claim, the trial's already over. I've got to think of a way to show this wasn't premeditated. It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it. You said that before. Anything else? Scientifically speaking, Miss Starr's testimony is flawless. Sounds pretty fatal to me. What do we do? Is this it? Is my sister guilty? Let's just keep our heads cool and press the witness a bit, shall we? For some reason, having her panicking next to me makes me calmer. Don't smile like that. Why? Okay, somehow I always knew a day like this would come. So is some way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend. When I sensed something, perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work. Saw the chief prosecutor standing next to the garish car. The murder was planned, the rubber gloves prove it. Okay. Oh, that's it, we're literally... Okay, so we're going to have to leave our heads and press the witness a bit. Don't smile like that. So we're going to have to... It's sort of condensed the testimony down, I think, hasn't it? So the only new statement is this, that the murder was planned. So I guess we're going to have to find a way to show that the murder wasn't planned using evidence. The ID card I don't think has anything to do with anything. It's just his card. The murder weapon, usually in Edgeworth's toolbox, traces the victim's bloods, no prints. So, I mean, I guess the knife could be somewhat useful here, because the murder weapon is usually in Edgeworth's toolbox. So it's not a knife that she brought with her, it's a knife that she found at the scene, right? So the only thing I'm thinking with this is if you had decided that you were going to murder someone and it was all planned, you would probably bring the weapon with you, right? Or I suppose you could stash the weapon somewhere and pick it up, which would mean she would have to have stashed it in Edgeworth's car to then get it later, which is not necessarily plausible in my opinion. The parking stub I don't think is going to help. It was definitely the knife wound that did it. Property of Lana Skye. It's the cell phone. I don't think there's anything on the cell phone. I've got the parking lot floor plans, which I don't think will help us out. No, so the only thing I can think of here is that the knife we could shed some doubt on this from the point of view of the knife. Like, why didn't she bring her own? If she brought her own gloves, right, to commit the murder, why didn't she bring her own knife? I guess that's the only thing I can think of here. Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell box lunches for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk. Indeed, it is my knife. What's with this case? The bloody murder weapon, a red car, all belonging to the prosecutor there? The defendant is the chief prosecutor of the district, right? Is this the... Mummy, are prosecutors bad people? So this is the crowd talking now. That's a new thing, right? Before, we've only ever had, like, the noise of them talking. We've never actually had any actual, like, dialogue come up on the screen, so that's quite cool. The defence has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony. What's that, rookie? In your testimony, you stated that Lana Skye planned this murder, and that's why she was wearing those special gloves. Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning. However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing, the murder weapon? Exactly what I was saying. Okay, cool. Oh! This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. It's possible that she knew it was there, though, or that she even put it there herself, like made sure that Edgeworth had it in the thing. But then it'd be proving that, right? Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon. Order, order, order! Great, now the tide is turning in our favour. Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free. Edgeworth doesn't think so. Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. Oh no, Edgeworth, come on, you're better than that. What? I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. Bah! The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution need prove. Nothing else. Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now? But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If it wasn't, why would she have been wearing... I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought. Yeah. How dare you? Tell the accurate story, please. My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Really now? Alright, here we go. Angel's deduction. Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. Well, we know that's not true because it's only got one knife wound on the report. Alright, well, that's an easy one. The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it? So, if I ordered a pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy? In any case, the defence may now cross-examine the witness. Well, we'll press everything, but we know what we really want to focus on here because she's contradicted the report. Okay, Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. You said that, but you haven't told us how you know. That's what I'm about to tell you, rookie. I believe what she just said was a mere prelude to the story she's about to tell. Try not to interrupt her again. Rookie. Never interrupt a storyteller. It's like pulling a bun out of the oven half-baked. Something's half-baked here, alright, and it's you. Try not to confuse the defence witness. They're not very quick on their feet. Now, why did you believe the suspect had intentions to murder the victim? Her actions speak for themselves. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. And how does she know that? You have no proof that Miss Skye called him there. You have no proof that she didn't. Mr. Edgeworth, thoughts? There is no record of a call made on the defendant Miss Lana Skye's phone. She might have written him a letter. Come on. You could have tried public phone first, at least. In any case, the victim came to the prosecutor's office where he was murdered. I'm sure he had a reason to be there. Witness, why do you think it was the suspect who summoned the victim that day? Okay, I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. What kind of grudge? Well, I wouldn't know that. Of course you don't. That's because she didn't have a grudge. Rookie. I have a lunchbox here. Now, what's inside? How am I supposed to know? See? We agree there is a lunchbox here, but we don't know what's inside. A person's life is like a lunchbox with pretzels. Don't you agree? I get it. That's why my lunch was so salty. This judge isn't very good with metaphors. The suspect had a grudge against Detective Goodman. Will you tell us your basis for thinking this? It's simple. Okay, nothing else could drive the human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. Now, this is the one that we're going to call out because it contradicts the court record. However, we are out of time, so we're going to have to do that in the next episode. So as always, thank you very much for watching. A big thank you to my patrons, Arcades Games, Wayne, Nate, Paul from the Phantom Fellows, Lyle, Hobo, Numinous, Kumadim, Paulio, Flossie the Sheep, JohnCon555, Chrissy, Paul James, and Zolties. And I'll see you next time.